Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is continue to read the Iliad by Homer. I'm going to continue to read. Both of you, better yet, that's best of all, headlong ruins massing against us quickly. Lycia's captains are bearing down too hard. Fierce as they always were in past attacks, but if fighting's flaring up in your own sector, at least let the rugged giant Ajax come along, with Teucer, the master archer, at his side. The Telamon's giant son agreed at once. He called out to his smaller, faster brother, with others flying, "Ajax, you stay here. You and the burly Lycomedes stand your ground. Keep your Danaans fighting here with all they've got. I'm on my way over there to meet this new assault. I will soon be back, once I have helped our friends." And with that, Telamonian Ajax stood off with his brother Teucer, his own father's son, the Pandians cradling Teucer's long-curved bow. Holding close to the wall, they picked their way until they reached the brave Menethnius bastion. There they found the defenders packed, hard-pressed, as the Lycians' stalwart lords and captains stormed like a black tornado up against the breastwork. Both men flung themselves in attack, and the war cries broke. The Telamon's son was the first to kill this man. Sarpedon's comrade, Epico, great with heart, he brought him down with the glinting jagged rock, massive, top of the heap, behind the rampart's edge. No easy lift for the fighter, even in prize strength. Working with both hands, weak as men are now, giant Ajax hoisted it high and hurled it down, crushed the rim of the fighter's four-horned helmet, and cracked his skull to a splinter bloody pulp, and break neck down like a diver went the Trojan, plunging off and away from the steep, beetling tower as life breath left his bones. The Glaucus next. Hippolochus, brawny son, was scrambling up the wall when Teucer's arrow winged him from high aloft, just where he saw his shoulder blade laid bare, and stopped his lust for battle. Down he jumped from the wall in secret, fast, so no Achaeans could see him hit and bellow out in triumph. Soon as he noticed Glaucus slipping clear, the pain overcame Sarpedon, but even so he never forgot his lust for battle. He longed in with a spear at Thestor's son, Alcmaeon, stabbed him, dragged out the shaft as the victim, caving into the spear's pole, pitched headfirst, and his fine bronze armor clashed against his corpse. And Sarpedon, clawing the rampart now with power hands, wrenched hard, and the whole wall came away, plank and all, and the rampart stood exposed. Top defenses stripped, Sarpedon had made a gaping breach for hundreds. But Teucer and Ajax, aiming at him together, shot. Trace's arrow hitting the gleaming belt that cinched his body shield around his chest. But Zeus brushed from his son the deadly spirits. Not for the ship's high sterns would his Sarpedon die. Ajax longed at the man. He struck his shield, but the point would not pierce through. So he beat him back in rage, and he edged away from the breastwork just a yard. Not that Sarpedon yielded all the way, never. His heart will still race with hopes of winning glory. Whirling, shouting back to his splendid Lycians, Lycians, why do you slack your fighting fury now? It's hard for me, strong as I am, single-handed, to breach the wall and cut a path to the ships. Come, shoulder to shoulder. The more we've got, the better the work will go. So he called, and dreading their captain's scorn, they bore down fierce, massing round, Sarpedon now, but against their bulk, and the Argives closed ranks, packed tight behind the wall, and a desperate battle flared between both armies. Lycians, stalwarts, could not force the Achaeans back, breaching their wall and burst through to the ships. Nor could Achaeans' spearmen hurl the Lycians back, clear of the rampart, whence they'd made their stand, as two farmers wrangle hard over boundary stones, measuring rods in hands, locked in common field, and fight it out on the cramped, contested strip for equal shares of turf. So now the rocky bastion split the troops apart, and across the top they fought, hacked at each other, chopped the oxide round their chests, the bucklers full and round, skin shields tasseled flying. Many were wounded, flesh ripped by the ruthless bronze. Whenever some fighter wheeled and bared his back, but many right through the buckler's hide itself. Everywhere rocks, ramparts, breastworks swarm with the blood of Trojans. Argives both sides, but still the Trojans could not rout the Argives. They held tight as a working window holds the scales, painstaking grips the beam, and lifts the weight and the wall together, balancing both sides even. Struggling to win a grim subsistence for her children, so powerful, armies drew their battles lying dead even, till at last Zeus gave Hector, the son of Priam, the greater glory. The first to storm the wall, Hector loosed a piercing cry at his men. Drive, drive, my stallion-breaking Trojans, breach the Argian rampart, hurl your fire now, a blazing inferno of fire against their ships. So he cried, driving them on, and all ears rang with his cries, and a tight phalanx launched straight at the wall, brandishing shining, sharp spears, swarming the bastions as Hector grappled a boulder, bore it up and down. It stood at the gates, huge, blunt at the base, but spiked to a jagged point. I'm going to stop here today and continue next time. Thank you for watching.